Welcome everybody, I'm Ben Brubaker at the Elkhart Model Railroad Club, and tonight I'm going to talk about making cheap freight car loads. And so before I do that, I thought I'd show you a couple examples here. You can get freight car loads you can buy. There's a Chooch Industries one. You can buy these for like scrap metal. Here's one that I picked up at a car show that someone's made out of, I think, just evergreen strips and pieces. Here's one that I picked up with little caterpillars on it. Nice little freight car load there. Here's one that I custom built. If you got the time and ambition, so I custom built something like this out of a piece of PVC. Here's another inverter you can buy. I think this is a Walthers kit, a Walthers Seedmaster kit. So the problem with all those is they're expensive. You have to pay for them. You got to buy them somewhere. You got to go to a show. And so I want to show you. So I'm all about free, and I think a lot of you guys are about free too. So I have a dog, and he uses poop bags, and every time the poop bag is empty, there's this little plastic cylinder left over. So I chopped those up and made some pipes. Can you see that okay? Right over here. So a pipe load of just scrap pipe cost me, actually it was a better deal than throwing them away, because I don't know if these are recyclable or not, so I just chopped them up, threw them in there. But what I want to show you tonight is how to make these loads here. Little mystery loads. Something under a tarp, you can't quite see what it is, and it's easy to make, and doesn't cost anything. It's pretty much free. So, to start with, you need to come up with something to put under the tarp, right? You got to find something that's going to make a good shape. So I grabbed a couple things here that I found. So anything that's got some unique shape to it. So you probably have some of these laying around the house, one like that. This is the top half of a deodorant thing. Here's the bottom half of a deodorant thing. Here's a pill bottle I cut into a couple pieces. I thought that would make a neat profile load like that, or some sort. Here's more deodorant. I must use a lot of deodorant in my house. This piece has a lot of potential. You know, a lot of shapes on some. I don't even know what this even packaging from something. Here's a blister pack that I cut. It was about this big, and I cut it to make a load. This is something I picked up off the ground when I was walking my dog. I don't even know what it even is, but it's got a good profile to it. Here's something I picked up at the Habitat store. That's my new secret place to shop. This thing at the Habitat store cost me 20 cents for this piece of pipe here. This thing here, solid brass copper, I think cost me 50 cents, maybe 75 cents. I thought that would have a good profile on a flatbed, would have a good profile to cover with the tarp. And it's got a lot of mass to it too, so it's a good weight. So it does look like a jet engine. Yeah, I thought it looked like a top secret military thing as it was going. So what I'm going to show you how to do tonight is make these little tarp things here. So we'll clean off the table here, and we're going to make this. Oh, this one here. Got a lot of these. I drink a lot of coffee, so that's what this is. I took a coffee thing and I cut it up, took a couple different shapes, and I made another, a load just out of that. So it's a mystery load. We don't know what it is. Something in there. Okay. So what I have is, first of all, I'm just going to start with just a little piece of pine that I've cut into a shape. It's about 1 inch by 3/4 square by 1 inch, and I cut a little groove here, and I chunk some off with a chisel there. That's going to be our piece that's going to end up looking like this. Okay, so materials, you're going to need a piece of wax paper, you're going to need your block, and you're going to need a napkin. Those are our materials. Okay, so I saved these off of my laundry detergent for mixing my glue up in there. So I'm going to start by taking a pair of scissors and cutting this into some smaller pieces. You can use toilet paper, you can use facial tissue. I think that the paper towels are a little bit stronger, so they don't tear as easy. Coffee filters. Someone mentioned coffee filters. I tried that and I didn't like it. It was the coffee filters were too
stiff.
Too stiff. The ones that I had were too stiff. If you use like the bun ones, they'd probably be okay. But the ones that I had for a pour over were too stiff. And so I'm going to start with maybe 2 layers thick of material here. So I'm just going to cut this down to size, and then I'm just going to double it over and make 2 layers of material. So I'm just going to use regular school glue. Hope we have enough in here. Give a little shot of glue in here. And then I just like to use a squirt bottle of water. Give a little squirt. And mix it till it's right. So I'm going to use a kind of a soft brush, maybe 3/8 or so. And just kind of stir that up until it's the consistency I want. I'm looking for something that's like, I don't know, drippy yogurt is about what I'm looking for. Old sour cream. I don't know what you want. So, just gonna lay the napkin on top and start to get it wet. And so just take the glue, put a little bit more water in there, and you just start to put the glue on top of the block. You might get a little glue on your fingers. It's school glue. As far as I know, it's safe to get on you. You'll be okay. Just start moistening. Just move down here. Of course, this always works better when you're not on film, right? Of course. Once you get it kind of wetted down, then the magic's gonna start happening here. So just the wax paper, because if you do it on a block of wood, you will glue it to a block of wood. And that's not our goal here. So wax paper is not going to glue down. So we're just gonna get it good and wetted here. And now you can see it start to come together. So once I get it, I'm trying to use my fingers here. Once I get it where I want it, I'm gonna use the brush and I'm gonna start wrapping it like a present so it folds around the corners so you get the grooves in it. What you're looking for is these kind of like folds like you'd see on a tarpaulin, where you can see, I don't know if you can see on this one, the kind of folds. So we're looking for the folds where it's draped over there and kind of made tighter as it goes. And so maybe I should have done 1 layer thick instead of 2 here. But there you can start to see it starting to get the folds in there. Just keep adding more glue as you go. I usually put do this twice. I do it one time, let it dry overnight, come back and put a second layer of paper towel, or maybe like 1 additional layer of paper towel as I go. They're starting to lay flat. I'm gluing myself to the thing is the issue here. I'm actually kind of surprised when Jim asked me to do this. I didn't think that my first one would be an artistic demonstration. I thought surely I'd be doing something like Arduino or mechanical or programming, something more in my wheelhouse as opposed to art, but there we go. So you can kind of see where it kind of folds, and you start to see the creases folding where it's going, and just kind of keep manipulating it, kind of fold it around, maybe bring it back the other direction. It's like wrapping a present. I'm terrible at wrapping presents. Just put things in a bag. So let that sit overnight and it'll harden up. Don't keep messing with it or you'll tear it. So far we have 0 cost involved though, so it's okay if we tear it. And then if you want to, you can add another layer. If you don't think it's thick enough, you can add another layer and you can add more glue. Sometimes I like it, but it's not hard enough, so I add more glue. I'll add another layer of glue. And eventually then you're going to end up with something that looks like this. And so you can see that's pretty hard. It's not going anywhere. So there's step 1. And then step 2. Is this stuff in the way? You able to see okay? Okay. So here's the next day. I think this has 2 coats of glue on it. And so you're just going to take it off the wax paper, and you can see it's pretty hard now. This is not what it looks like though, so we have to do some trimming. Take out a pair of scissors and just cut off the extra paper. Just cut off the extra paper, and then I kind of cut out around the corners to make it look a little bit little less manufactured. So there's our little mystery block of whatever. Okay. So now we are going to paint it, and so I'm just going to plate to do this on here. So the tarps I see, like industrial tarps, are usually like a taupe or a gray or a khaki, some sort like that. The blue ones you see, like people have on the back of their pickup trucks, but I don't usually see those so many like out on railroads. They're not like what you think about, like what a semi has on the back of that. It's like a gray or a taupe or something. So I just grabbed some random colors. So I want to mix some like browns and greens together, and maybe some beiges or something to get a color that looks like a tarp. So these are a great deal. You get them for like $1 at Walmart. So a little green and maybe some brown in there to get something that looks like a tarp. And then again, I'm just going to use a soft brush. I like to use a soft brush so it gets into all the crevices, gets down in there, and so that is too green. Add a little bit more brown to it, and maybe also some beige or something. So, oh, I don't know. I think that kind of swampy green is a good color for that. And then we're just going to paint it. Now, the glue is water-based. This is water-based. If you put too much paint on, you basically start over. So kind of be careful of that. If it starts to get kind of soft, you might want to just wait and let it dry, come back and put a little bit more on. But I just kind of take the paint and just, get down in there, all the crevices. But you just kind of throw it on there, and I don't know, that looks like maybe a new Army issue color, like it's brand new tarp. So once that's done, then what I do after it's all good and dry, so this one I kind of already did, so I'll take this one, actually I did these tonight, so maybe an hour or 2 hours ago, and so this one has a little bit more, oh, this is gloss, that's why. This one's a little glossier, maybe than I would like. I think the matte maybe is a better finish. Then after that, what I do is I take a lighter color, and so maybe like a lighter brown, and I'll dry brush. A little bit of paint, you don't need very much, just like a drop. You need something to dry brush onto, so a napkin. I take a brush and I just cut it real short, so it's kind of like a toothbrush. And then a little bit of paint, take it off, and then just on the high spots, just kind of hit that, and it gives a shadow so that they pop a little more. Just kind of dry brush it on there. Dry brushing goes a long way in model railroading, I think, for like bringing out the colors. But just kind of, just makes it pop a little bit more. And then let it dry. And then you end up with, I have 2 mysterious loads headed somewhere, and my total cost was nothing. And then the next step then, I guess, would be to find a way to strap it on there. They're not going to just ride on there. So using chains, or I've seen people use electrical tape, cut thin strips of electrical tape, or
Chart pack tape.
Yeah, or the real thin stuff for pinstriping, and like make some hold downs on there. You can buy small chains, do that. So make it look realistic. Don't these will fall off. These don't have any mass to them, so that'll be different than, say, if you put something like this on there that weighs a good ½ pound of brass there. You'd get a different look. So that's my quick and easy demonstration tonight on how to make your own mystery loads. Thanks for coming tonight, and please stop by and visit us at the Elkhart Model Railroad Club. We have running on Fridays.
Thank you.